Hello Internet, I am JNOK, and I'm going to be continuing my Day 2 territory battles with the mixed planet of Felucia. I'm going to start with the kind of central mission here. I like to use my Mandalorians Bo-Katan lead, but then I also throw in Rey at the end. So I take Bo-Katan, Paz, IG-12, Beskar Mando, and then I throw in Rey. Makes this a full auto team. I do keep an eye on her just to make sure that she doesn't lifeblood herself to death, but she does better in this lineup than in some of the other ones, but you still want to keep an eye on her. I like to go after the Saboteur in the back first. He does a decent amount of damage, and then I like to go after the Rodian on the right. Okay, we'll go to the guy on the right. He's an Enforcer. The two of them, they both seem to do some decent AE damage. Oftentimes you end up killing that tank just because he's taunting, and go after the guy on the left. And finally we'll take out the leader. Second wave, just kind of concentrate on Hondo, try and get him out. You're probably going to end up getting stuck behind the Rodian to the left there. He's the tank, and so he'll start taunting. But do what you can to go after Hondo. And since this guy's okay, we respelled it, so we can go back to Hondo. Actually, not doing a lot of damage. I think probably going to end up having to kill everyone else off, and then Rey's ultimate will probably be enough to finish him off, but probably not until we get the rest of the sides out of the way. Well, none of these by himself. It probably won't be long before Rey's able to cut him down. Yep, Beskar Mando finished him off. Alright, so we'll move to the next one to the right, which is the Jabba mission. I normally use Boba and Jango. Let me go to the scoundrels. Bounty hunters are probably a better view. There we go. Boba and Jango, Dash and Greedo. I just recently, I gotta go to Scoundrels to get my Dash. I just recently got my Chrysanthemum up to relics. You could very easily use him here, but you don't really need the full group. This is the team I've been using for quite a while, and so if you don't have all of your Hut Cartel up to snuff, you can still win pretty easily with this team. You just end up doing the third special with Jabba, and then you do 2 basics, and then the third special with Jabba and 2 basics, and you kill from left to right. So you're going after Range Trooper first. When you get here, one of the reasons why I like this team is there's a couple different dispels to get away from the taunt. So with Dash here, you're just going to use that middle ability to get rid of the taunt, and then we can go back over here to the Range Trooper. And everyone should be attacking the Range Trooper. You don't want to use Boba's AE because there's some retaliate out on the field. So, and then Jabba's just going to do 2 basics until he gets back to that third special. And essentially, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get Jabba up to where his ultimate is available, but then you don't use it. Because the amount of thermal detonators that he puts out is directly related to how high his ultimate is charged up. We're going to go ahead and use Dash's third ability to put daze out on everyone. That way we can ignore. So now I can start doing these AE abilities because everyone's dazed. So they won't be able to counterattack. Get some thermals out there. Use Jabba's third ability since it's available. Get even more thermals out there. And a lot of your team is going to die off. And that's not a big deal because Jabba revives fallen bounty hunters at the beginning of every wave. So all you're trying to do is whittle down that Range Trooper on the left. He's the one who's given bonus protection to everyone, and that's what's killing off, or that's what's keeping their team alive. So you get him dead, and then you go to the healer, and it looks bad because, like, oh no, my whole team's dead. But the thing is, they can't kill Jabba off. So long as you do the third special and then 2 basics. Every time he does a basic, he gives himself bonus protection. If you start monkeying around with that middle ability, then you might start having issues. But as long as you're doing third ability, basic, basic, third ability, basic, basic, they're not going to be able to kill Jabba off. And the longer this goes on, the higher his ultimate charge gets, and so the more thermals he's sticking on them. And eventually they just can't deal with all of the damage that he's putting downfield. So we're up to 5 now? Yep, 5 thermals. At max, he's putting out 6 thermals. And that 6 thermals is going to start overwhelming what they can heal. You can see Range Trooper's already down into the yellow. And he might get healed from the healer, and he might be able to do his little stomp and give himself some bonus protection. But ultimately, it won't be enough. You can see I do have the ultimate available right now. But if I use the ultimate, then my ultimate meter goes down to 0. And I start only putting 1 thermal detonator per round on people. It's that 6 thermals that is overwhelming them, so you don't really want to drop back down to only a single thermal detonator. You want to stay up here at 6. And this might be enough to kill the Range Trooper off, maybe? Nope, 1 more. All right. He's going to get his little stomp off. We'll do that third ability. Get 6 more thermals out there. See if it's enough to kill him this time. All right, there we go. And so he finally died off. And so, like I said, you just kill left to right. So now that you've got the guy who's giving them bonus protection, now your next target is the healer, because he's the one who is bringing their health up to snuff. And after both the bonus protection and the bonus healing person are dead, everyone else just blends away. They just bleed off because they can't keep themselves alive. So, but nothing changes. It's still just third ability and then 2 basics. Third ability and 2 basics. Killing left to right. Third ability. If you have the full Hutt Cartel team, this is just a full auto, and it's a much easier win. But even if you have a substandard team, and this is kind of an interesting thing I can show you here. Jabba, between waves, will always refresh his cooldown. So I'm going to use the third ability, and that kills him. So normally he would have a 2-turn cooldown, but if you watch, when Jabba takes his first turn here, he will again have that third ability available to him. And we're going to go after a range trooper just like in the first wave. Start on the left and go left to right. But now that it gets around Jabba, as you can see, he's got that third ability available right off the bat. Now, again, you had the ultimate available, but you don't want to use that ultimate. You want to be putting out the 6 rounds of thermals. That's going to make this round actually go a bit faster, because you don't have to work your way up to 6 thermals. You're already there. So Jabba just does the same thing. Third special, basic, basic. Third, basic, basic. I'm actually going to use his terminate ability just to get rid of that taunt. Yep, third ability. That way everyone can target range trooper, not just Jabba. And we can dispel that with Greedo. Use that third ability. We're going to get the days out. And you can see it was definitely faster this time getting range trooper killed off in wave 2 than in wave 1. But nothing changes. You're just doing third ability, basic, basic, third ability, basic, basic. Kill him from left to right. We'll dispel that taunt. That way Dash he's not going to be alive much longer, but Jabba, he doesn't need anyone to help him. He can do this whole thing by himself. Okay, so Imperial Officer is the leftmost guy, so third ability, basic, basic. And those are going to kill him off, so I will just go ahead and do the smash here, because the other guy's got 6 thermals on him. That's going to kill him, and that just kind of makes the wave end a little bit faster. Since it's the end, it's worth doing. So let's see, we'll do the Hondo mission next. I like to use my Baylan team here. Hondo is a mercenary, and Baylan with Merrick does very well with other mercenaries. So it's Baylan, Merrick, Shin, and then just pick another mercenary. I'll take Wrecker in because I'm not going to do anything else with him. Merrick with his Omicron does an amazing amount of damage, and whenever any mercenary does a special ability, Hondo or Merrick will assist. So essentially it's the same thing as what you just did. You're trying to kill off the range trooper first. We'll call Merrick in to assist. We're going to do that third. I don't know, maybe I should wait until the taunt happens. I think I am. I'm going to do the middle ability. Because I don't want to... I want to wait until Stormtrooper here taunts before I use Baylan's third ability. Let's do a basic with Shin. She calls an assist on her basic, so we're going to go after Recon Trooper now, because he's the next biggest damage. You could also kill left or right, like I did on the last one. Okay, he's taunting now, so we'll go ahead and do the third special. And I'm just going to go after Recon Trooper. Now I'll go after the healer, now that the damage dealers are pretty much out. You could go after the Imperial Officer. Yeah, you can go after anything. I'll do the special here, and that's the last special I'm going to do. Everything else is going to be basics, because I want to try and get my cooldowns back so that I've got a decent amount of them available for the next wave. The basics, or the specials that are going to call Merrick in for an assist are important, especially since in this round you really need to kill off Grand Moff Tarkin as fast as you can. There's a case to be made for actually putting him under captive, but I think we're just going to try and just outright kill him. Yeah. Once he's dead, it's essentially you're just doing the first wave over again. So, but if you don't get him killed off quickly, he can decimate whatever team you bring. All right, we're stuck behind a taunt. Let's see, I think she's got a dispel here. Maybe not. All right, I thought she had a dispel, but I guess she doesn't. She's got a stun. All right, that's all right. If you can't dispel the taunt, just kill him. Wrecker dispels on his basic, so when we got around to Wrecker's turn, he could have taken care of it. We are just going to go ahead and use that third ability. There's no tank left, but they had a bunch of nasty buffs that I wanted to get rid of. Let's do a basic. Call Merrick. Now we'll go after the officer. And we'll finish off with the commander. Yeah, with the Omicron and Merrick, the damage you put out makes it a pretty easy fight. We'll do the YngLando mission next. I do this differently on my two accounts. On this account, I do it kind of the way I used to do it on both accounts. This is kind of like the older one. It's Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and then Kylo Ren Unmasked, and Hux just makes things a little bit faster. And then you also need Wat. You absolutely have to have Wat. The techs are very important. And one of the other important things is you really need Kylo Ren to have a high damage mitigation. So I normally run with 3 health sets on him, and his armor is only 65, almost 66%. That's not nearly high enough. So I actually put my Sira Jinda mods on him because she runs with 3 defense sets. And that raises his armor percent up to 75%. And that's more like what you need. But other than that, I don't do any special remodding, just the Kylo Ren Unmasked. This is a pretty simple, straightforward fight. Wat's going to put his middle tech. The middle tech is going to go onto Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And then you want Supreme Leader Kylo Ren to stun the recon trooper in the back, so he's going to poke him. And the reason why you need that high armor percent is so that they don't kill Kylo Ren off in these opening salvos. Then you're going to pass the turn over back to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. He's going to stun Imperial Officer. Those two do a lot of damage, so by stunning them for this first round, it makes there's a little bit less damage going on to Kylo Ren Unmasked and makes him able to survive this opening salvo. And then you want to put the first tech onto Kylo Ren. That's going to make it so that he regens health protection whenever they take turns. And from this point, you've got all your setup done. You can put it on auto basic while you're targeting the stormtrooper over here on the right. And because whenever they gain turn meter, Kylo Ren Unmasked is going to gain max health, and he also heals when he gets attacked. So you can see the green number on him will be increasing and increasing, and that's increasing because his max health is being increased because of his interaction with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. As a result, you just sit back and let his health ramp up until he's effectively immortal. He will ramp up to the point where he's healing at 4.8 million per attack. So, right now he's at 27,000, now he's at 30,000. So it takes a minute or two. So you can leave this running, go and grab a drink, fold some laundry. But once this is done, once he is at the point where he's healing for 4.8 million per hit, there's not really any possible way they can kill him. And then you can put it on full auto, at which point Supreme Leader Kylo Ren will wreck their whole team. And it's not so much this wave that you need that max health. It's next wave, because next wave you're going up against Iden Versio, and she can put out some decent damage. So if you try and leave early, then you might not have what you need to get through that second wave. So I recommend waiting until he fully maxes out at 4.8 million healing. I'll have to look into his kit sometime and figure out what his actual max health is. I'm not sure what percentage he's healing, but any percentage. If that 4.8 million is even, if he heals for 50%, that means he's at, 9.6 million, almost 10 million hit points? That's just ridiculous. But, and I know he's way higher than that. He's probably more like 20, 30, 40 million hit points once he's fully ramped up. Up to about 500,000 there. About to pass, just past 1 million. So it won't be long now. We'll be at 4.8 million in no time. There's 2.2 million. And just under 3. And we're passing 3. Just a few more rounds. Oh, 4.3, looks like one more. 4.7. And now we're maxed at 4.8. So you can take it off auto basic and put it on full auto. And now Supreme Leader Kylo Ren will start going into his ultimate, and people will just start dying. His basic was giving him stacks of siphon that whole time, and now when he goes into ultimate, that's going to allow him to siphon off people's masteries, which is going to drop their mastery and raise his, and he'll very quickly be doing damage that's just taking all of them out. Yep. Took out 2, almost took out the healer. Alright, so I'm going to take it off auto because coming into wave 2, you want to do a couple pokes before you put it on full auto. Doesn't really matter who you poke, and they can't kill off your Kylo Ren mask. He's like I said, he's invulnerable. If you can poke Iden Versio, it's kind of nice, but she gets so much turn meter, you're not going to be able to get around her giving out the buffs and everything else. A lot of it doesn't matter because when Supreme Leader Kylo Ren kills someone while he's in ultimate, then they can't be revived anyways. But I'll give it one more poke. Poke her again since we have the ability. And she's already stunned, but I'm going to go ahead and put the 2-turn stun on her from Kylo Ren Unmasked. We'll do a swipe, and then I'm going to put it in full auto because now he's got full ultimate meter, so he's going to jump into his ultimate, and I'm going to take the targeting reticle off, let him target anyone he wants. And there we go, nice easy win. A lot of times you'll lose Hux and Wat too. Doesn't matter. All you need is Kylo Ren Unmasked and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. That's enough to carry it. And so we'll go on, finish up the fights here with the fleet battle. This is Executor's pretty much the best choice. Let's see, Bounty Hunters. I put my Razor Crest into operations, but he's really unnecessary. So you go with Punishing One and Xanadu. bring in IG and Slave 1, and then your other reinforcements, which almost never get used, will be Ebon Hawk, and I suggest Imperial TIE Bomber just so you have a backup tank, but they almost never get used. I go straight after Imperial TIE Bomber, their Imperial TIE Bomber first. I'm just going to do a basic here because our punishing one who's about to take a turn is when he's going to do a special, and we'll do the mass assist here to get more damage downfield and apply more target locks. So when our punishing one does his special, he forces taunt, so we'll do that, and that's going to force our Houndstooth to taunt. And it's important to try and get a lot of damage downfield fast, because otherwise their Chimera will potentially kill your Houndstooth off, and that can make things go south. I'm going to call in IG-2000. If we had the locked buffs on the field already, I would bring in Slave 1. But until we get the locked buffs on the field... Okay, I need to get my taunt up. See, I'd really like to heal my Xanadu because he's about dead, but I really need to get that taunt up so that they start. Yeah, and there goes the taunt. But at least he has his own taunt. Okay, got him dead. Gonna have to call in my Slave 1. There we go. Finally got the locked buffs. Alright, so we're gonna call IG-2000. He's always gonna be the person who we call to assist. Yeah, just do a mass assist, get that TIE advanced out of here. We can start doing the bombs. If we can get at least one more person killed before they because their capital ship, yeah, I was gonna say he's about to kill off one of my guys. Alright, so I am going to bring in my TIE Bomber since they killed that off, and that'll get rid of their offensive buffs. Ability block out there, which didn't work. We'll go after TIE Interceptor just because he's closer to being dead. Alright, so we got him out. So if we can finish off the TIE Fighter. Bomb. And so long as he isn't bringing a reinforcement. Alright, yep. Get a little dicier than normal. I think by killing my Xanadu off, the double tap from Xanadu helps you get to those locked debuffs faster, so that wasn't as clean a fight as it normally is, but it was still a win in the end, so any fight you can walk away from. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and come back for the next video where I'll be finishing off my Day 2 fights in Geonosis. Thank you for watching.